why do we need philosophy, or why at all? Is it a fundamental human need and not a desire or a want? So when I say need, I mean it's on the same level, really, as food, sex and shelter. This may sound perhaps a bit outlandish. You might think that philosophy is nothing but leisurely pastime, something that we should people engage in because they're pedantic, they want to know about what certain words mean, etc., or certain word games. Perhaps, some people are sort of a more formally priestly class, and now they'd rather be philosophers than priests, etc. But think about it in this way. I encounter quite a few people in my philosophy courses that I teach online who are looking for something, whatever that might be. You can say meaning or sense, orientation, direction. And some of them, not many of them, some of them are looking for philosophy quite specifically just on YouTube. And hence I'm here. But also, some of them dabble in or have dabbled in what we might call esotericism, New Ageism, astrology, etc. And the reason for this is, of course, let's not forget scientism. Let us not forget scientism. So it's not just the more or less kook sphere. Scientism is part of it also, and scientism can take many forms. It could be an actual sort of hard scientist who peddles scientism, or it could be someone who combines, certain philosophical concepts or questions with the newest scientific findings of neurology or whatever it might be, or biology, etc. Sort of physicalism to me is a prime example of scientism. The reason why, though we need philosophy to get to the point finally, is that without the fundamental categories of philosophy and its ways of inquiring into what is and what is not, what is real and what is mere illusion, etc., what is the good life, what is not the good life. It's not about being pedantic again, it's about by making yourself mature, as Kant would have it, and hence be enlightened in this manner by making good use of reason and not just following formulas as if you were a machine. Without those categories, without those questions, because human reason is addressed by those questions. What is freedom? What is justice? What is the good life? If you just stick with the formulas or with the quick answers, you're not really entering into thinking, into free thinking. And without free thinking, you cannot act freely. Free thought, or rather free thinking, comes first. And those who are looking, genuinely looking, because again, philosophy is a human need, they end up where sort of a certain meaning or sense is peddled, sold, be that in scientism or some sort of esotericism, etc., which, however, is a hollowed out version of the categories of philosophy and the ways in which philosophy addresses it, because philosophy is the only discipline that asks the question, what is, and does so in a fundamental sense. Philosophy doesn't give a quick definition of justice. It inquires into what justice is, and it might take thousands of years to get to some sort of response. But it never works with quick answers or just with formula. So whoever sells you a quick formula, 6 or 7 habits to do this, etc., or here's the way you can integrate meaning finding into your everyday life, that is the definition of a guru, or the very definition of a sophist, you see? And sophistry is as old, if not older, than philosophy. What did the sophists do, and how did philosophy respond to it? The sophists claimed that they were able to sell knowledge in an immediate sense. They could teach virtue, and along comes Socrates, and he's a bit of a busybody, he's in everybody's face, and says, well, okay, then tell me, What is virtue? What are you teaching here? I don't mean virtues, etc., but what is virtue? Can you teach it? Can you teach what you don't know? And hence, and let's go also to Plato again, the interpretation of the Cave, Book 7, the end of Book 7 of the Politeia of the Republic, where Plato relates, through Socrates, that it is only philosophy, the dialectical discipline of reason, that can get behind the mere hypothesis, the mere hypothesis. Science works by proving hypotheses. If you've ever noticed, they tend to prove their own hypothesis. So, the scientists, that is. And hence, we require philosophy against the sophists, against scientism, because philosophy is the only way in which that which is gets addressed in a fundamental sense. And hence philosophy is confusing also, and it might lead to aporia first, because it dislodges and unsettles. It doesn't give you immediate answers. It leads to more questions. And these are not sort of performative questions that are meaningless and almost nihilistic, or it's not a Derridean difference that just where we never arrive at a concept. No, instead, though, the opening up of the questioning is a sign that you have left behind that which an age of enlightenment might deem itself to believe, might deem itself to hold dear certain values, but those values, to refer to Nietzsche, might be very hollow indeed. And instead, what we might have to do is to try and be enlightened ourselves, which is to use our reason publicly, and hence to engage in those questions that result in a true philosophical response to, for example, the question of freedom and the question of justice. So I hope you can forgive the poor audio quality. This is a spontaneous video. It just came to mind because I see quite a few people looking. Don't take easy answers, quick answers. Don't turn to astrology and other things. It is going to really lead you astray further than you can believe. Scientism does the same. And instead, if those questions bother you, as Kant says, first critique, that human reason is always addressed by those questions that it can't possibly hope to answer, well, then you have to pursue those questions with some seriousness and with some endurance. And of course, that is what grants the human being ultimately his or her dignity. So I'd like to leave you with that. And perhaps if you'd like to learn more about philosophy, what it once really was, which we have to reclaim, that it is the ars vitae, to quote Cicero, the art of living, and please follow the link in the description of this video and you'll learn more. Thank you very much.